Okay, so good morning everyone. In this video, I will discuss to you about our first topic, which is the inductive and then deductive reasoning. Let us first discuss what is an inductive reasoning. So an inductive reasoning, it is the type of reasoning that forms a conclusion based on the examination of a specific example. So we need to examine first those examples that are given until we arrive at a general conclusion. So yun yung meaning ng inductive reasoning. The conclusion formed by using inductive reasoning is what we call the conjecture, since it may or may not correct. When you examine a list of numbers and predict the next number in the list according to some pattern that you have observed, you are using inductive reasoning. So we need, in inductive reasoning, more on pattern siya. Kadalasan, pattern yung sa inductive reasoning. Until you arrive at a general conclusion. Let's have an example. So in this example, we need to use inductive reasoning to predict the next number in each of the following list. Our first example, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. And what should be our next number? Each successive number is 3 larger than the preceding number, meaning to say that yung difference between 6 and 3 is 3, 9 and 6 is also 3, 12 and 9 is also 3, and 15 and 12 is also 3. Therefore, we can predict that the number in the list is 3 larger than 15. So if 3 is larger than 15, so 15 plus 3, this is actually equal to 18. Okay. So another observation about our first example, in this example, they are all divisible by 3. So madali lang natin makukuha yan. So you just count 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and what should be our next number? So this is 18. Okay. In our next example, we have 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, and what will be our next number? So by this, we need to analyze the given numbers. Hindi naman sila divisible by any number. Kasi iba-iba sila. May 1, may 3, may 6, may 10, and may 15 tayo. Then, stick tayo doon sa pag-subtract para mahanap natin kung may pattern ba sila. So if we are going to subtract the number, say for instance, 3 minus 1, para hanapin natin yung pattern, this is actually 2. 6 minus 3 is 3. And then 10 minus 6 is 4. 15 minus 10 is 5. So as you can see, the pattern that we have observed is 2, 3, 4, 5. Yung difference nila are consecutive numbers. So meaning that itong number na to, kapag sinubtract natin siya sa 15, yung sagot noon is 6. So hanapin natin yung number na kapag sinubtract natin siya, yung sagot is 6. So backward solution tayo. Let us add 15 plus 6. So this is 21. So let's have our solution. Tingnan natin kung tama tayo. Okay. So the first two numbers, 1 and 3, differ by 2. So differ meaning to say, sinubtract. So 3 minus 1 is 2. The second and the third, so 6 minus 3 is 3. And it appears that the difference between any two number is always 1 more than the preceding number. So, ibig sabihin, consecutive talaga. Then therefore, we can predict that the next number in the list will be 6 larger than 15, which is actually 21. So, our answer is correct. Nakuha? Okay. So, kung there are some pattern na kailangan natin i-analyze ng mabuti. So, dapat familiar tayo sa mga different kinds of numbers like odd numbers, even numbers, square numbers. When we say square numbers, they are 4, 16, 25, 9, na pwede nating mahanap yung square nila. So, by that, not all the time na we need to subtract, pero ito yung pinaka-simplest way doon. Subtract nyo yung preceding number and then the previous number para mahanap natin kung ano yung pattern niya. Madali lang naman yun. Okay. So, check your progress number 1. Let us answer check your progress number 1 that is included in your module. So, need to use inductive reasoning to predict the next number in each of the following list. Okay? So, let's proceed to example 2. So, we need to use inductive reasoning to make a conjecture. So, as I mentioned a while ago in our video, that a conjecture, it is the conclusion from using an inductive reasoning. Okay. Consider the following procedure. So, ito yung procedure natin. We need to pick a number, multiply the number by 8, add 6 to the product, divide the sum by 2, and subtract it by 3. So, we need to complete or we need to perform this procedure. Kailangan natin itong i-perform for several different numbers. So, mag-a-assign tayo ng at least 4 numbers na i-assign natin. It's up to you kung ano yung i-assign nyo. Then, we need to use inductive reasoning to make a conjecture about the relationship between the size of the resulting number and then the size of the original number. So, here are the solutions. So, in our first number, we pick 5 as our original number. Then, following the procedures, would produce the following result. So, our original number is 5. Then, the next procedure, you are going to multiply it by 8. So, 5 times 8, this is 40. And the next procedure, add 6 to the product. So, 40 plus 6, 46. Divide it by 2. So, 46 divided by 2. So, we have 23. And subtract it by 3. 23 minus 3. So, we have 20. So, yung result natin dito is 20. Observe the original number and then the result. Another example, if we are going to pick 6 as our original number, the result here is 24. So, same procedure, multiply by 8, add 6, divided by 2, and then subtract 3. So, 6 times 8, 48. 48 plus 6, 54. 54 divided by 2, we have 27. And 27 minus 3, we have 24. So, the result of this the result is 24. So, the original number is 6, and then the result is 24. Another, suppose we pick 10 as our original number, then the procedure would produce the following result. So, our original number is 10, and then the result here is 40. So, 10 times 8, 80. 80 plus 6, 86. Divided by 2, we have 43. And 43 minus 3, we have 40. And then the last, if we pick 100 as our original number, then the procedure would produce the following result. So, ito yung original number natin, and then the result here is 400. So, what did you observe about the original number, the size of the original number, and then the size of the result? So, we have 5 and 20, 6, 24, 10 and 40, 100 and 400. So, if we are going to observe them, they are 4 times the original number. The result is 4 times the original number. So 5 times 4 is 20, 6 times 4 is 24, 10 times 4 is 40, and 100 times 4 is 400. So we conjecture that following the given procedure, it produces a number that is 4 times the original number. So ito yung solution natin. So meaning, a number that is 4 times the original number. Ito yung conclusion natin. So we give first different examples until we arrive at the general conclusion. So ito na ngayon yung magiging conjecture natin. Number is 4 times the original number. So yun yung way in using the inductive reasoning. You need to you need to give some examples until you arrive at the general conclusion. Okay, so you may now answer check progress 2 in your module. Just follow the instruction given there. Okay, so let's proceed to deductive reasoning. Another type of reasoning is called the deductive reasoning. So what is the difference between the inductive and the deductive reasoning? In deductive reasoning, it is the process of reaching a conclusion by applying a general assumption, procedures, or principles. So, kung doon kanina sa inductive reasoning, it is more on examples until you arrive at the general conclusions. Dito naman, we apply general assumptions. Then, we can give a specific examples by that. Okay, so let's have example. Use deductive reasoning to establish a conjecture. So, dito, given na si conclusion, yung general conclusion natin doon sa inductive, which is 4 times the original number. So, it produces a number that is 4 times the original number. So, dito, using deductive reasoning, kailangan natin hanapin na ngayon yung formula na kung ano ba yung gagamitin natin so that we can apply the given conclusion. So, same procedure that we apply in inductive. Pick a number, multiply the number by 8, add 6 to the product, divide the sum by 2, and then subtract it by 3. So dito sa deductive reasoning, we let n represent the original number. So kung kanina doon sa inductive reasoning, nagbigay tayo ng original number, different kinds of numbers. Dito, isa lang. We use a variable or we represent n as the original number. Then, following the procedure, multiply the number by 8. So, since our original number here is n, if we multiply it by 8, then we have the product 8n. And we need to add 6 because this is our next procedure. So, 8n plus 6, so we have 8n plus 6. And divide it by 2, divide the sum by 2, so 8n divided by 2. So, we need to simplify this because 8 is divisible by 2, pwede natin siyang masimplify. And 6 can be divided by 2, pwede din natin siyang masimplify. So, by this, 8 divided by 2, we have 4, and copy n. 6 divided by 2, we have 3. So, in simplified form of 8n plus 6 divided by 2, we have 4n plus 3. And the last procedure is, we need to subtract it by 3. So, the quotient 4n plus 3, then subtract it by 3 minus 3. So, since combined like terms, ito lang yung pwede natin masubtract. Kasi si 4n, we cannot subtract kasi may variable siyang n. So, 3 minus 3, pareha silang whole number. So, you just cancel it. Then, yung natira natin is 4n. Therefore, we started with n as our original number and we ended at 4n. So the procedure given in this example produces a number that is 4 times the original number. So if we translate this into a mathematical equation, I mean mathematical expression, a number that is 4 times the original number, we have 4n. So yun yung kinaibahan ng deductive and inductive reasoning. So sa deductive reasoning, we find the formulas kung ano man yung given na conclusion. And we follow the procedure until we arrive at the given, until we arrive the formulas, until we get the formula. Another example, pick a number, multiply the number by 10, add 20 to the product, divide the sum by 5, and subtract by 4. So what will be our formula? So we have here 2n. We started with n and ended with 2n. The procedure given in this example produces a number that is twice the original number. So hindi ko nalagay dito, but yung kailangan natin is we are going to use deductive reasoning to produce a number that is twice the original number. So meaning, our original number, let n represent the original number, which is n, multiply by 10, 10n, add 20, so 10n plus 20, and divide it by 5. So simplified again, kapag pwedeng ma-divide yung number, then we can simplify it. So 10 divided by 5, actually this is 5, sorry. 10 divided by 5, so you have 2n. 20 divided by 5, so you have 4. So we have 2n plus 4. And subtract it by 4, magka-cancel si 4. Yung natira is 2n. So this is twice the original number. Dito tayo nag-start and we conclude that the number, it produces a number that is twice the original number. Understood? Okay, so answer check progress 3 in your module. This is deductive reasoning. Okay, so let's proceed to identifying what is the inductive and what is the deductive reasoning. In example number 4, we analyze arguments to determine whether they use inductive or deductive reasoning. So determine types of reasoning. Determine whether each of the following arguments is an example of inductive reasoning or deductive reasoning. Number 1, during the past 10 years, a tree has produced plums every other year. Last year, the tree did not produce plums. So this year, the tree will produce plums. So as you can see, meron siyang pattern. During the past 10 years daw, yung tree produced every other year. So last year, hindi nag-produce ng plum. So ibig sabihin, ngayong taon is magpo-produce. And sa susunod na taon, hindi na naman. And sa next year, magpo-produce na naman. So ibig sabihin, meron siyang pattern. So, anong type ng reasoning kaya to? Is it deductive or inductive reasoning? So, in number 1, the type of reasoning is inductive because itong argument na to, it reaches a conclusion based on a specific example. So, yung conclusion natin dyan, a tree has produced plums every other year. Number 2, all home improvements cost more than the estimate. The contractor estimated that my home improvement will cost $35. Thus, my home improvement will be more than $35,000. Meaning, nauna yung general general conclusion. All home improvement cost more than the estimate. So ito yung all home improvement cost more than the estimate. So yung estimate ng contractor will cost $35,000. Therefore, yung home yung therefore my home improvement will be more than $35,000. So from that given arguments, we conclude that this is the deductive reasoning because yung conclusion is a specific case of a general assumption. Meaning, ito na yung given the general conclusions, meron tayong mga specific example. Another example, the chair in the living room is red. The chair in the dining room is red. The chair in the bedroom is red. All the chairs in the house are red. So, nasa huli yung general conclusions natin, nagbigay muna ng different examples na yung chair daw is red, chair sa dining room is also red, chair sa bedroom is also red, therefore, lahat ng chairs in the house are red. So, what is this? An inductive or deductive reasoning? Okay, so this is an inductive reasoning. Another example, all raccoons are omnivores. So, ibig sabihin, we generalize that all raccoons are omnivores. This animal is a raccoon. Therefore, this animal is an omnivore. So, from this example, we can conclude that this reasoning is a deductive reasoning because nauna yung general conclusions, then nagbigay ng mga specific example. Again, dito, nauna yung specific example, then we arrive at the general conclusions. Understood? So we answer check progress 4 in your module. Identifying if it is inductive or deductive reasoning. Okay, so that is all about the inductive and then deductive reasoning. Now, just answer our activity 1, inductive and then deductive reasoning. Thank you and good luck.